What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Entertainment. A little bit of news today about the Walking Dead universe. Now that we're in the interim spots between the main show's season 11, we're going to be heading well into 11C later on this year. And I know Fear is on again. I don't watch Fear, so. But we got some pretty big news that came out this week. Yesterday, it was announced that Melissa McBride, who plays Carol, of the famous Daryl and Carol partnership that has been a staple on the Walking Dead show for pretty much the entire run of the show. Really picked up steam in seasons 2 and 3. And they were supposed to have a spinoff show, which we've known about for about a year now. And Carol and Daryl, after the main show was over with, were supposed to have a series. I don't know if it was supposed to be one episode or 2 episodes, but it was supposed to be a series that they were going to have after the events of the main show. Honestly speaking, I was not wild about this, especially given the fact that 10C show where they had that episode where it was about Carol and Daryl, and in my opinion, it was one of the worst episodes, if not the worst episode of The Walking Dead that there ever has been. So that didn't really get me excited about a Carol Daryl spinoff. I'm not excited about it at all. I'm in the camp of fans who, even though I came in late to The Walking Dead, I love The Walking Dead, but I do think it should have an ending. And I'm not wild about all the spinoffs. Of all the spinoffs, this was the one I was looking forward to the least, because Tales of The Walking Dead, you could do some interesting backstory stuff with that, with characters that died that they could bring back. So that's actually something I would watch. Negan and Maggie going to New York, that could be pretty cool. That sounds interesting. But Carol and Daryl doing stuff, I'm not so sure about. I think now, I know it's been verified now in several articles on Variety and AMC's put stuff out, and a lot of other people have put stuff out about it, that the Carol and Daryl show, or the Carol show, was supposed to happen next year. It was supposed to take place next year, or be distributed next year on AMC, and it was to involve Carol and Daryl going to Europe and presumably to look for information about Rick. Now, this ties into stuff that's on some of the other shows. Again, I don't watch Fear the Walking Dead or The World Beyond, but I know I've seen the recaps of them, because the characters on those shows don't interest me. But I've seen the recaps of what happened in there, and I do know that I think it was the ending of World Beyond, that they do hint that there's other stuff going on in Europe. And it goes back to season 1 with Jenner's character, the Doctor, from the very first season of The Walking Dead at the CDC way back in 2010, who was talking to people in Europe, I believe France or somewhere else. So a lot of this is going to tie together. So it looks like The Walking Dead, again, kind of what I don't want the show to do, is going to try to tie into a Cure storyline. I look at it this way. Depending on how season 11 ends, as long as they don't do a cliffhanger ending and they kind of wrap up the main show as its own thing, I'll be happy with The Walking Dead, and I will be able to have that as The Walking Dead. And then if this other spin-off stuff winds up being a big mess, then okay, well, we still had seasons 1 through 11, which were pretty awesome. But now that Melissa McBride doesn't want to be on the show, maybe a Daryl solo show going to Europe. Now that actually kind of is a little bit more interesting to me, to be honest with you. And there's nothing against Carol's character, but I feel the buddy thing with them, I wasn't really feeling it. Again, because of the 10C episode that they had. But Daryl's a lone wolf anyway. Him going off rogue and doing his own thing in Europe would be fairly interesting. Now, Melissa McBride has said that the reason for this is that it's untenable for her to pick up and go and film in Europe, which is where they're going to be filming this season. And it's good for, for Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, it's good because some people know that his fiance, I believe, is over there, and he has a life over there in Europe. Of course, we all know Andrew Lincoln is also, obviously Andrew Lincoln is from Europe, so it's probably easier for them to go film over there and do all of this stuff and kind of expand The Walking Dead. I don't know. I'm very iffy on these expanded episodes and this post stuff past the what they're doing past the comic book storyline, because remember, the comic book storyline ends with the Commonwealth story arc, and then there's a little bit of a recap in the very final episode of the comic book that takes place many years after the events that happened in the Commonwealth, which is a vague adaptation that we're seeing right now on the TV show. But after that, there's no more stuff from the comics to adapt. And some of the stuff that they've done that's been outside of the comics on the show has been good, and some of it's been god-awful. And I'm kind of worried without that kind of thread going through it, whether or not things are going to go the way we think they're going to go as far as it being good, these being good shows. And of course, there's the Rick movies that are going to eventually come out. Now, the other part of this, too, is that a lot of fans are very upset. There's a lot of fans upset at Melissa McBride. There's a lot of fans upset at Norman Reedus because they blame him for the filming being in Europe and all this other stuff. And it's like, entertainment fandoms are becoming increasingly toxic. And, you know, now, the Walking Dead fandom can be toxic at times, but mostly it's positive. But it can be toxic, especially when you involve Negan and Glenn and stuff like that. But it's not anywhere near... I haven't seen it be as bad as something like the Star Wars community, especially during the Last Jedi era, or the wrestling community ever since AEW has been around, or certain other communities are pretty toxic. But the Walking Dead community, it has its moments, but this is the most toxic I've seen it in quite some time. Probably since Carl died. And, you know, I know that AMC is trying to milk the cow for as much as it's worth, but I think they just need to stop. I think the cool thing about The Walking Dead is that we didn't have... It wasn't about trying to find a cure. It was about them trying to survive, and then what it meant to be human surviving in a world that had changed, in a world that was hostile, where death was around every single corner, and you had to live with the fact that people you love died. That's the whole point of the show. That's the effect the show has. And I think AMC is trying to steer it to more towards a typical common zombie tale, which I've said, anybody who's listened to me talk about The Walking Dead on this channel before, the reason I like The Walking Dead is because it doesn't do that stuff. It didn't do that stuff in the past. It seems like the show is steering towards that now, because I know that's where a lot of the other spin-off shows are going, towards cures and all this stuff. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see. But that's the big news, is that, Melissa McBride no longer part of the Carol and Daryl spin-off. It will just be a Daryl spin-off now. Whether this means she's getting killed off in the season 11C, they've already filmed the episode. So, unless they bring her back to kill her off, I don't think she's getting killed off at the end of season 11. But you never know. They could retcon it. They've done petty stuff like that before. It's rumored with Dale and Carl, so you never know. But those were my thoughts on it. I want to know what some of you Walking Dead fans think about it. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. If you like this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And share this video on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, wherever you talk about The Walking Dead. I will see you guys here soon for more news, rumors, and reviews. We'll be reviewing Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, next week after I see the premiere right here on this channel, spoiler free, and then we'll have a spoiler edition later that weekend. Till then, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.